What's up, everybody? We're at Something Dope. We're going to give a special shout outs to our sponsor, Total Exterminating. If you got any termites, any pests, any skunks, any squirrels, any gophers, any spiders, give them a call over there. Shout outs to Total Exterminating. I'm always in the house. All this food talk got me all hungry. Let's take a food break. What's up, Vanessa? We're going to welcome everybody back to Something Dope. We got a special guest in the house today. Vanessa Bejarano, right? Did I say it right? What's up with you?
Hey, good. I'm glad. I'm excited to be here with you guys and let you know what it is I'm doing and what I'm promoting. And, hopefully, I brought you guys a tart, so I hope you guys enjoy something healthy.
I can't even think just because that's in my vicinity right here. Just like start munching right now. That looks delicious.
Definitely.
How long did it take you to make that?
That usually takes about an hour and 45 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
So it takes 2 parts to cook. You got the pastry cream that you create a cluster. So it's a white cluster. And then the tart, you make it separate. We call it a chefs in baking because I'm also a chef plus a pastry chef. So the crust you make separate and it's called a pain sucré. So it has lemon zest and everything to balance it out. And that cooks separate. And then you have the cream and then your fruit.
That looks good, man.
So I thought I'd bring you guys a really good treat.
But there's a science to making all kinds of steps and all making
Definitely.
The cream.
Especially with baking.
Yeah.
More with baking versus cooking because baking is more science, mathematics. So you have to have the mind for it and math for it.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I burned the cookies, the one that come with the easy make ones, the microwave ones.
You're probably leaving it too long.
Yeah, I'll be burning those all hard.
If you want a soft cookie, definitely you want it to be like about 2 to 3 minutes.
Damn.
A nice golden color and soft.
Yeah, I need some cooking lessons from you.
Definitely.
For sure. I'll be messing up the cereal. Too much cereal, too much milk. I'll be messing it up.
Oh, yeah. Adding too much milk will make it soggy, for sure. A lot of people say, how do you mess that up? Like, easy.
Hey, too much is too much.
Definitely.
Sheesh. Chocolate milk. I'll be messing everything up.
Yeah.
That's it. How was your drive over here today?
It was a pretty nice drive.
Yeah?
I'm coming from Long Beach, so.
Long Beach?
Yeah, definitely represent.
Representing Long Beach. Shout out to Long Beach, everybody out there.
Definitely.
Wow, man. How are you today?
I'm good. Like I said, I'm excited to be here with you guys and share my tart and share the information I have and the food. Food is a big thing in the world everywhere, especially when you combine culture into it because you get to experience different flavors. Not every food is the same and not everyone cooks the same.
Yeah.
They're like I do meal prep company, so everything is portioned to size. But I also like to portion my things where it's fulfilling as well. I have a certain technique, a certain way that I handle my food. I've always done it since I was a kid. Growing up with my grandma, she's always taught me the skill. You pray over your food, very traditional. So I always keep that. I always carry it with me while I'm in the kitchen. I carry it with me in my career because a lot of people ask, what is so different about your food? I like to create with love because that's how I grew up making my food. And sharing food is one big thing. I remember always going out with my family or my cousin and we would go out with friends and instead of going to Jack, we would come over to my house and I would be so drunk, but I would still have pumped enough energy to cook. So
they hang out with you.
Definitely.
Sheesh. What I'm pretty sure what'd you make for breakfast today? Do you make these delicious breakfasts or is it just eggs and bacon or something?
Sometimes, but usually I like to do smoothies or smoothie bowls.
Okay.
It gives you a lot of energy, especially the ones that I make. I have a variety of them. Some of them have peanut butter. Some of them have acai and for antioxidants. So it just depends on, the night before, how the night before was for me. Let's say if I'm drinking, of course, I want to like have something healthy like green monsters or juices that will restore my organs inside.
Yeah.
Also, I have one ingredient that I always use, whether it's my smoothie bowls, my soups, or anything I'm cooking. I like to use an Irish sea moss. It's really good. A lot of people don't know about that, but the ones that do, it was banned before because I believe in the 1920s or something like that. They gave it to the potato pickers, the farmers that would pick the potatoes. So it got a bad name because farmers, low class people, they gave it to them, but they gave it to them in order to have the energy and restore and be able to fight diseases, to be able to continue to work for mass production. So it got a bad name in that way. So now that nutritionists are more people are going to nutritionists and chefs, and we're letting people know like, hey, you know what, this is a good thing that you should be taking, regardless of what it was used for in the past. It's something we all should be taking because sea moss is actually, it's like a seaweed flower and that grows in the sea, and when you take it out, it's dried up, and then you restore it. You put, just like any kind of herb or flower, to make it fresh, you put it in water, you let it restore. Water always restores us. So the same way it restores our body, it restores the flour, and you blend it up, and you can pretty much cook it in anything.
I need some of that.
Yeah.
I need some of that sea moss. Never heard of that. Man,
yeah.
Putting me up on game with that stuff.
Yeah. It helps restore your skin. Your zinc levels go way up. It balances out your red and white cells, so you're able to fight cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's, pretty much any disease out there that we look for questions. How can we fight these diseases? How can we stop our ancestors from getting these and getting sick?
Yeah.
Because it's very rare you see elderly people working out and lifting weights. So if that's something you want to see yourself in the future doing, I mean, sea moss is definitely the way to go. It'll give you the energy day in and out. Yeah. Just don't take it in the night.
It keeps you up or what?
Yeah, definitely. You won't be able to sleep.
No sea moss at night.
Yeah.
Unless you work at night,
Yeah, definitely.
With you being a chef, is that something you wanted to do in high school?
In high school, it's actually totally different. I wanted to actually be a fashion designer. So when I got to college, I went to fashion design and merchandising sales. And I probably had like 1 or 2 classes left to finish. And at that point, I kind of stopped and I said, you know what? I like being creative, but I don't think this is the career, the direction I want to go into. So I took a break and I actually went back to school. A family counselor, she's very close to our family. My mom has always been a part of the school ever since me and my sisters were young. And she was actually one of the financial aid counselors there, and she gets you ready for your career. And she knew me personally. So when I went in, I said, well, I don't think that's what I want to do. My grandma, she was a nurse, so I kind of want to follow in her footsteps and start over there. And she said, well, let's think about this. Let's think about what things you do day in and day out. What do you enjoy doing? And she's like, you know what? Have you ever thought of like the culinary department and like pursuing your career in that? And I said, no. And she's like, well, I think you should, because you're always bringing me food, for one. Yeah. And it's always delicious. And you're always talking about food. And you're very creative when you bring me in food. So I thought about it and I said, okay, I took a look at it, took a look at some of the classes, the curriculum. And I'm like, you know what? She might be right. So I got into it. And the first day they give you a uniform, you get your knife set. And I'm like, wow, like, It totally different experience, and I felt like I was at home. And just being in the kitchen and being a chef, even though you get your degree, you finish your career, you never stop learning. There's always new things to learn, and how to heal people, and how to share your meals in new creative ways. It's also artistic, so the way you plate things, color, we eat with our eyes, so you always think of dishes that you can create with color. What colors can I use in this dish? What flavors can I do? How can I set it up so it'll be appealing to somebody that'll want to eat it?
Yeah.
So it's a lot to cooking.
And you see that like in the pictures on your Instagram, there's like, whoo,
yeah,
the sesame seeds on top. It's just like it goes with it. It's just man, I don't even want to think about it. It looks bomb.
Definitely.
Jeez. Switching it up from your design class to culinary arts class. Mm-hmm. Was it easy? Like, did you find yourself in the kitchen easier, like learning stuff easier, or how did that work out?
It was a balance. It was easy. I was familiar with some of the foods, but like when I first started my first job in while I was in culinary school, there was always once I became an executive chef, let me say, I went in, and then I had guys that I had to be their leader in the kitchen. So like they see me, a woman, they're like, why would I listen to you? And they're like, yeah. So it was interesting because one of the guys had asked me, what makes you different than a cook? Because they're obviously a cook. So they're like, you coming in telling me what to do, what makes you different than me, pretty much. So that made me think, and I'm like, okay, well, me being a chef and getting my degree, I'm not coming in just to cook. I'm coming in with knowledge. Aside from cooking, there's techniques. There's ways of cooking. Because sometimes you can cook something and it's not cooked the proper way, and you can make somebody sick.
Oh, yeah,
so
definitely.
It's very important coming in with knowledge on how to handle food and time, temperature. The way you handle it is, there's, certain ways you have to handle food, especially with Jewish food. A chef can't make Jewish food just by themselves. There's a rabbi that's involved. You have to use, if you go in, you have to go to their kitchen that's blessed. You have to use their knives, their tools that is blessed. As a chef, you can't light the oven, you can't light the stove. The rabbi has to do it for you.
Really?
So it's a lot of work. So culture, depending on culture and how you handle food, it's a big thing.
Yeah. Right now that you mentioned cooking Jewish food, is that difficult for you, or is it just easy?
I'm familiar with it, so it comes a little bit more easy, but there is a lot of work because I have to transition versus how I work regularly in my own kitchen versus working with them, because I'm not relying on, now it's not just about me, it's about I have to rely on somebody else before I can take the steps. So it takes me a little bit of time because you have to wait for the rabbi to come in, and then they have hours that they pray. So if they take a break, you're taking a break. Whether the stove's on, your food's burns, like, oh well, you have to start all over.
What?
Yeah. So it can be like a little bit like nerve-wracking. So you gotta mentally like program yourself, like have your plan, like, okay, from this hour to this hour, I already know the rabbi's gonna do praying at this time, so I better be done quick and have certain things on reserve where they can hold while I'm laying them cool while he's doing his prayer. And then when I come back, I already have like a set plan what I'm doing next after that.
Sounds like a lot of work. I'm already
definitely.
I want to take a break already.
Yeah, definitely. Being a chef, your heart has to be into it. You got to be patient and ready for whatever comes.
Right now, when you were saying you have to like when you cook like certain like the meat, it takes time. Like cooking a lot of meals for the meal prepping. Mm-hmm. Have you ever had an experience where something was like raw or something wasn't cooked all the way through? Like you'd be like, oh, this is still raw, or like something like that.
With meal prepping, so far no, because I'll cook everything all at the same. So when you cook, you always want to make sure, example, like with chicken, every chicken has to be weighed out the exact same. every shape has to be the same in order for it to cook at the same time.
Yeah.
If I have a chicken that's, let's say, 2 pounds versus a chicken that's half a pound, that half a pound is going to burn and it's not going to be the same as a big one.
Oh, yeah.
So portion control and how everything matches up while you're cooking it all has to be at the same.
It's a lot of work. Come on.
Yeah, and then you're moving fast at a certain time. So every time when I go in, I go in, and sometimes I'll have my team, like my sister, or I have a guy that comes in. He's a really good guy. He's actually a manager where I was at. His name's Andrew, and he helps me out. So he's learning too. He's not a chef, but he's learning, and he'll be a chef soon, and I'm teaching him to be the best. So he's like, I don't want to disappoint you. I always see his face, and it's like, he's a little nervous. Am I going to mess up today?
Just learning on the go too, right?
Yeah,
but
definitely.
If
But
you're
that's
gonna
how
have a
you
good
learn.
teacher like yourself, then you know he's gonna learn everything the right way. You know, it's just some people don't want to share the science to their art. You know, some people are like, I'm a chef, I'm not gonna teach this guy. Like, this is my stuff. You know, keep them to a minimum. You know,
Definitely.
And it's good that you're sharing your knowledge with somebody else. Like,
Yeah,
like old
I
manager,
think it's
you know?
important to share because we all learn. Sharing is how we grow, and it's important that other people grow. Because when somebody else has an idea of how things are ran or worked, we're able to spread around because this is a big world. It's okay to share. And with cooking, one thing about cooking is not everyone has the same hand for cooking.
Yeah.
Like I tell my team in the kitchen, like with measurements, I tell them to eye it. I already know versus like, let's say 1 pinky is like 1 tablespoon. The guy that helps me out, his fingers are bigger. So I tell him, okay, 2 lines is like 1 tablespoon. So he'll pretty much measure things out. And I tell him like, nobody has, like, I can't tell you one like mine because you don't have the same fingers like mine. Yeah. So not everyone has the same hand for cooking. Because sometimes I'll make something and then he'll make it. I'll demo it and then he'll make it and I'll check it. How did it come out? And he's like, why didn't it come out? I'm like, because your hand isn't the same as mine. Yeah. So that's why it's important to taste in between when you're cooking so you get familiar with the flavors and the smells. So I actually have, I'll put on the table like a tray. So he's going to have a test next time he comes in, and it's going to be a tray of different ingredients like spices, herbs, and we're going to blindfold him and to make sure he knows what flavors they are. Yeah. So it's really intense.
Mr. Miyagi over here, he's going to be up on game.
Definitely.
What college did you go to where you learn all your craft? I
went to Long Beach City College.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I decided to go to a community college versus like a private or anything like that. Cool. It just made more sense. You save more money, you learn a lot more, you connect with the community, and not only that, there's always somebody there. Like the instructors were really helpful. One of my instructors that I talk to still to this day is Chef Gomez. She's a pastry, so anytime like I need ideas or anything like that, I still can stay in contact, and she's amazing. Like her
willing to help.
Yeah, a lot of my pastries that I learned and the skills and techniques came from her. So I'm very appreciative of that. I wouldn't be where I'm at today. That's
cool when you got people to help out like that. I said, passing down the knowledge and sharing is like, yeah, you pass it down and help each other, you know? Yeah,
I had a couple of friends that went to Le Cordon Bleu and stuff like that. Yeah. They had good skills. Nothing bad to say about that, but I noticed like they just kind of throw them out to the wolves. And one of my friends, she went there, and one of the chefs that when you start going to school, you get put in with other chefs, and they'll tell you like they'll tell you but not necessarily explain to you. So it's like you have to know. So we went in, and then my friend's like, he's like, oh, can you reserve the stock and throw out the remainings, which is the bones. So you cook stock maybe like 12 hours throughout the day. So this stock was actually turkey, and he was cooking it for 18 hours. So she threw out some of the juice. And he like blew his top because it took forever. That stock you use in rice, grains, different sauces.
Yeah, that's a flavor right there.
Yeah, that's
stock,
your main, that's your base.
Yeah.
So he got so mad at her, and I'm like, hey, she's like, well, I didn't know. I'm like, well, you should have asked me. I would have helped you out. So she kind of threw some of the stuff. Pissed. Yeah, he was mad.
18 hours letting marinate, huh?
Yeah, like marinate with all the herbs, the peppercorns, infusing all the flavors. So.
Man, I would have been pissed too. Like, hey, you're messing up, girl.
Yeah.
Right now, when you mention your grandma and the cooking, is she the one that kind of inspired you to go into the kitchen, or is there anybody else?
Yeah, she's one of the main. Like, my grandma. It was always my grandma and my mom. So cooking was a way, mainly my grandma, because she was a nurse, but she always cooks. So I would always be in the kitchen. Hey, grandma, can I help? So our thing was, we get together, we're Hispanic, so we cook tamales. Right now is tamale season, so we get together. We just made tamales yesterday, so yeah. Season. So anytime it was Thanksgiving, she would invite the whole neighborhood. It wasn't just our family, it was everyone on the block. We knew everyone knew her. Yeah. And then on her free time, she would do volunteer work. She would feed she actually started the Meals on Wheels.
Oh, okay.
So her and a group of other people, she was like an activist. So on her free time, she would go out and service food, and I would be right there with her. So it was good. It helped me learn a lot, and with that, it reminds me, like, okay, anytime I cook food, it's important. Even though I'm not making a sale, at least I shared with somebody in some way. So that's a value I have. Like, I want to make sure every time I come in and I meet someone that I have something to offer. Even if I'm not receiving anything in return, it's still something, because I touched the heart of somebody.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's a good thing right there. You have any siblings?
I do, actually. I have 4 sisters.
Sisters?
Yeah.
Give a shout out to your sisters when they might be watching.
Yeah. Alexis, Desiree, Christy. Oh, actually, it's 3. It's 4 of us all together. I'm including myself.
That's funny. Shout out to the sisters. Yeah. 3 sisters.
Yeah.
I know you teach the manager and your team. Would you be interested in like doing a class, like just becoming a teacher of your skill?
Yeah, I've been asked that a lot. Over the years, a lot of people have been asking me to do that. So this new year coming, I'm pretty sure I'm going to start something like that. Starting in January, start offering some classes, even if it's Zoom classes. I'm open for that.
Yeah, that's a good thing. You got to share that knowledge.
Yeah, definitely.
What other goals do you have in your food? Like, I know you have all the CMOS, but like, what other goals do you have like for yourself?
For myself, as far as growing, my plan is to, right now I just have delivery service meal preps, but I do want to open a restaurant, quite a few. And with the way things are going right now, there's only fast food as delivery. So I want to be able to offer like home style cooking, delivery style. So like, not delivery, but drive-through, where families can just drive through have the option. Hey, you know what? There's pizza, but we can get this. That's, chicken that's rotisserie that has all that flavor. Like you've been cooking all day. Something where, the hardworking family, mom or dad, can pick up, drive through, and then come home and know that it's okay. It's healthy to eat. It's
healthy, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely right there.
Yeah, but I'm also offering like, since kids are home now and parents are home, they're getting meal preps. So now I'm gonna start loading up pictures for like meal preps for kids, so they have enjoy those same colors of food. And kids are pretty picky. Yeah. I have a couple clients that they call me and they're like, well, my kid's really picky. They only eat chicken strips. They only eat sliders, like burgers and things. So I'll make sliders that have like the sea moss in it or the vegetables. So that way they know even though they're eating these things, it's still healthy.
Oh, nice.
It fools the kid, but the parent knows they're getting the nutrition. Already. Yeah. So yeah, I have one customer. He's always telling me like he's ordering for his son. So he's like, "Hey, can I get some of those sliders too?" I'm like, "Sure." So I'll make like brioche bread. I make in-house bread, so I'll make my bread from scratch because it's really important that you have fresh bread because of the fermentation that it has. The fermentation has the antibiotics to help your stomach digest. Oh. So. And it tastes a lot better.
You got all the science in how you cook it, man. I'm learning right now. I'm definitely learning. With this COVID stuff, has it affected your business or your work in any way?
Actually, not really. It's since it's delivery service, it's doing pretty good. It could be a lot better, but I think a lot of people are still like, oh, let's order fast food. And I think they get the idea, well, it's healthy food. I don't want to I want something kind of like cheap. And I'm like, it's all depends on your body. Yeah. So I have like plans that I offer them where, let's say they get like a monthly plan. I'll give them 20% off. That way they still have the foods there and, they're still able to enjoy. And like I said, I do offer like the comfort food or the fry food, but instead of it being deep fried, I actually cook it in the air fryer. So there's no oil in it. Yeah. There's none of that saturated fat. Everything, all the ingredients are like lean, light. So that way they don't have food coma. They're still feeling good, but it still has that comfort food. So chicken sliders, I can imitate any kind of fast food, but have it still taste better. I don't want to say the same, better and a lot healthier for you. And you wouldn't even know the difference. High end.
I've been hearing a lot about those air fryers. Everybody's recommending them.
Yeah, they even have the ovens now. Now the ovens are making them like air fryers. So to be honest, I think they cook better than deep fried. The crispiness gets it a lot better. The crispiness when you cook it, it like coats it just right. All the way so around. When you bite a couple stuff that I've been trying out, I've done wings, and when I bite into it, it's like you can hear the crispiness. Maybe I'll load some lies where you can hear the crispiness. But sounds delicious already. What would you say to meal preppers that are starting to begin right now? Like if I wanted to start up, like even at home on my own, like the portions of it, like what would you say to the beginners? Portion, just depending on what direction you want to go about it. Like I said, if you're losing weight, you want to go with 6 ounces of protein. 6 ounces of protein, 2 ounces of grains, 2 ounces of veggies. Just kind of have make a list of your idea of food you want. Whether you enjoy salads, sandwiches, let's say actual dinners, like meals, like salmon is always good. It's high in omega-3s. Chicken is always good. You can have pork, but you kind of want to stay away from it if you're losing weight. Mainly it's chicken and salmon. You can do some steak. Fish, yeah. I know a lot of people are doing workout. They are setting up their gyms at home. So those that are setting up gyms at home, sometimes your body aches from the weights. So chicken always helps restore the muscles. You can do red meats too, like the steak is always good. Make sure it's 6 ounces. But if you're trying to bulk, then of course you want to go up to 8 ounces a day.
Jeez. Some good advice right there.
Yeah.
What challenges have you faced to improve your cooking skills?
Challenges that I faced so far, just getting out there, letting people know more that I'm out here. This is what I have to offer. a lot of people don't know I'm out here doing this and what makes me different. So just knowing that, just getting the word out that, hey, I'm here, this is what I have to offer, and, you know, it's benefiting you. Because a lot of the ingredients I have, like the sea moss is just one of them. I cook a lot with a lot of my, like I do dumplings that are colorful. So some of those are made with sweet purple flour, potato, sweet potato purple flour. So it's actually starch from the actual potato, and then I incorporate that into the dough. So a lot of those things have a lot of vitamin into it. So everything you see with color on my menu is high in vitamin. So just depending if let's say with eyesight, a lot of the stuff that's orange, that stuff will help you out with your eyesight. If you need to improve your eyesight. Also, there's like another ingredient that I have. I do salmon with oregano. So what a lot of people don't know with the coronavirus going on, that oregano actually will fight off that virus in our body. And if you do eat that, you'll notice a difference right away. Like, you'll feel it right away, and by the next day you'll be like nothing ever, like you have no symptoms at all.
Damn.
So I had a couple of customers that tried it, and they broke out with the virus, and then they felt like a difference in their body. Like, they had a headache, they had massive, like, all these symptoms that they had. They lost their taste. As soon as they took that, they felt the taste, their taste buds come back, and the next day they was like nothing. So that was actually surprising. Like, I kind of knew, but to actually see it happen, it's like amazing, because it made me feel good. Like, hey, you know what, I actually helped somebody feel better, where they look like they couldn't even get out of bed. This is how bad they were. Like, they couldn't get out of bed. They had massive headache. So these are customers that buy from me, and they're like, oh, I would like to buy meals, but I can't right now because I don't have the taste buds. And I'm like, okay, that's good to know. I'm offering soup, so try this soup. I'm willing to make it free. So I offer like free soup for them to try out. As soon as they tried it, they were good.
Damn.
Yeah, so I just do I do a delivery, no contact, so I'll leave it at their door, and I just send them a message, hey, your food's at the door. They'll come get it, and then, you know, they tried it out, and they're like, wow, thank you so much. That made me feel so much better. Like, because they told me, like, oh, I feel like I'm gonna die. Like, I can't. I'm so sick. I don't even know what to do.
Yeah.
So it helped them out. So that made me feel good.
For me, the only time I use oregano is with menudo.
Exactly,
like,
right?
Sprinkle it on there and just some lemon, some chili.
Yeah.
That's the only time. But you add that in other meals?
Yeah, I add it in the soups. Like, if you're sick, I'll add it in the soups. So I'll make sure it's actually an oil I create. So I'll infuse the oil. It's oregano oil. And I put like 5 drops of that, and make sure it's incorporated into the food. And then when you eat it, you feel it, because oregano is strong. You know, like, you have it in your menudo, like you say, and when you eat it, it just wakes everything up.
Yeah, it does.
Your sinus. So imagine eating it that way. It just really kicks.
I never thought of that, but it does. It opens up your sinus and everything.
Yeah.
And I was gonna ask you, is there like a restaurant where like you were like, I want to work here, or like, is there some type of spot that you would work, or like you would,
Yeah, there is. When I first started culinary, I had worked doing a couple like volunteer jobs, but there was one job particularly that I started working at, and I would go back if they asked me to. I would. I wouldn't mind. It's actually in Dana Point. It's at St. Regis Manor Beach, and I learned and grew so much there, and it's such a pleasant place to work at because just being there, it's in a resort, so you can only imagine. And being a chef there is like, wow, every day, like if I worked on the weekends, anytime they told me, "Chef, can you come in?" I was there. I practically lived there. I slept there. The beginning, I would go to school, so the commute from there to Long Beach sometimes would be 2 hours, so I would sleep in my car sometimes, and I wouldn't care. I'm like, I loved it. Like, I just love it. And we had showers there, so it was convenient. And then one of the chefs, well, my boss, the executive at the time, he's like, "Are you sleeping in your car?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Don't worry, get a room." He's like, "Get a room. That way, you're comfortable. We have showers, whatever." And, he really inspired me a lot to push. And right there, you can grow and get a name for yourself, get Michelin stars. That's like the chef thing. Like, you get Michelin stars, you're a superstar. Like, you're something. Yeah, certified, pretty much. So I would always have views. But I have those pictures actually posted on my personal social media at the VANB 16. So I have pictures of the resort there.
I'll have to follow you on that one too then.
Yeah, I met quite a bit of people there. I remember I would do brunch. After, we would do weddings on Fridays or Saturdays, and then Sundays were our brunch. So the chef's like, "Okay, you did the wedding, but can you come for sure first thing tomorrow morning and get set up?" So I would either do omelet station. At the time, it was like Asian station, omelet. We had Italian station, carving station. So sometimes I would do like the omelet station. And I'll never forget, like, I seen Magic Johnson, and his wife Cookie. And he came up to my station. He's like, "Can you make me an egg?" And I'm licking, and then I had to like lick up literally. And he's like, "Oh, do you mind making my egg? I would like a sunny side up egg." And I'm like, "Oh my God, okay." And then he's like, "I like an omelet as well." So I had to like cook two things at once. So I was so nervous, and he could tell I was nervous. He was like kind of like laughing. And I'm like, okay. So there was like kids that came up, and they're like, "Oh wow, it's Magic Johnson." And I was so nervous, and oh my God, I was praying. I was like, "Please God, don't let me burn his eggs." So I'm flipping eggs. I'm flipping his omelet. I'm like, "Please don't drop." I was so nervous, and he just laughed, and he gave me a tip. He's like, "Don't worry, he's like, this looks really good."
That's the legend right there, Magic Johnson.
Yeah,
that's
definitely. Cool, so he used to be there every weekend pretty much. So, but it didn't matter. Every time I seen him, I always got nervous because I'm like, "Oh my God."
Jeez.
I'm like, I'm cooking for the magic.
For real. That's the legend right there.
Definitely.
Magic Johnson. Man. Is there a chef that you would like to work with? Like, I know Chef Ramsay, or what's that guy?
Bobby Flay?
Bobby Flay, like all those shows. I've been watching some of those shows. Just making me hungry,
Definitely. Bobby Flay, everyone always likes to challenge Bobby Flay.
Yeah. He's
like the guy you challenge. Chef Ramsay, he reminds me of my old chef instructor. She's from Vietnam, so she was always on me, and like the whole class, the whole students, like she would be on us. If it was something not correct, she would throw it. But I was surprised. I graduated with honors, and I was like her top student, so I was always inspiring everyone, the whole class there, and they're like, "How is she doing it?" Because she was very proud that I was like going to school. I was working at a resort. I was always offering other careers. I knew a lot of people, so I dedicated my life to that, and just being in culinary. She's like, "Are you ready for this? Is this something you want to do? Because there's a chance you're not going to have a life." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm ready. Like, my heart's in it." So it was a lot of hard work. I can't think of how many times in the beginning while in school, like wanting to give up and crying, but I continued. And what made me keep going is that a lot of people look forward to me being there. Even people I didn't know, they knew me.
Yeah.
And I inspired a lot, so that kept me going. But one of the chefs I would like to cook with is Chef Alex. She's in New York, and she has her own restaurant called Butters, so she really inspires me a lot.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
She's probably one of my favorite chefs, as my second, because I really like Julia Child. As a baby, I was like 4 or 5, and my mom would have me go to sleep. You know, the PBS channels, and you see all those channels like Reading Rainbow and all that.
Yeah.
So my thing was always Julia Child. She's cooking with wine. So I have a lot of dishes that I do with wine. I use cognac. I do flambés in my omelets. So I do quite a bit, even with crepes. So I'll make crepes like with Grand Marnier. So I have a lot of drinks that I have recipes that are incorporated with other different alcohols, whether it's cognac, vodka, doesn't matter what it is, wine, champagne.
Sounds delicious already. I know the chicken marsala, they use like a type of wine in that.
Yeah, white wine. A Chardonnay.
Just, you could taste it in the sauce and the little gravies.
And chicken piccata.
Yeah.
So you use crepers, but you also use a white wine also. So anything with like white sauce, use white wine. If it's like, let's say a short rib, a braised short rib, you use a red wine. So
get everybody faded with these meals.
Yeah.
A little bit of wine.
Definitely.
It just brings out the flavor
just a little
though,
bit.
right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like olive oil, right? Just the wine kind of makes it a little bit flavorful.
Definitely. So like a lot of my like when I do octopus dishes, I cook it a lot with like either red wine. My sister actually, she brought me some boysenberry wine, so I cooked octopus with that, and oh my god, it enhanced it so well. Like very tender, and the flavors were right there. It was like mouth-watering.
That sounds good, man.
Yeah.
Is there any time where you use like ready-made stuff, like what was the ready-made stuff, like the 5-minute rice or something, where you like kind of cheating?
5-minute rice.
Like anything, like just the cranberry sauce is already made, or like you just include it, or you make everything from scratch.
Maybe like coconut juice or like coconut milk. Usually I do it like I'll get the coconut and get the juice from there. Maybe stuff that I cook with coconut.
Oh, okay.
I'll do like my coconut flan, and in the alcoholic section they have like that Coco Loco, so that I'll use that out of the can, because it has that liqueur and it has like the coconut, so you have to have it all already. I can't get past that one though.
Did you ever have to deal with like food critics?
I did actually when I was like in the end of my culinary program. There was like channel 2 news and channel 5 that came in, and I was so nervous to like get interviewed that I told my chef, she's like, you have to, you're like my top student. And I'm like, no, just give it to somebody else. So I get pretty shy. I'm surprised, like this year I've actually started to be more open and out there. I've had a lot of opportunities, but I always turn them down. So I think this year has been the year where I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm not going to do that anymore. So it's important I get out there, because there's a lot of good things I'm doing and it needs to be shared. So I'm doing quite a bit of things. I'm actually, I was on Andy's podcast. I believe it's
which is the profile one,
yeah, right? His profile.
Yeah.
I was actually after the Dodger game. So being on his podcast actually inspired me, and he told me, well, if you're interested, like, you should start up too. So I'm actually working on that, but I know it takes a lot of work.
Yeah, it does.
So just being on, yeah, definitely. So being on here with you guys is I'm very grateful, and I'm actually going to be learning a lot from you guys.
Oh,
So if
anything
I
we could
do
help
start,
with, we're here to help too, you know?
Yeah, if I can exceed, definitely it's going to be a lot learning from you guys.
Yeah,
For
cool.
sure.
Out of all the dishes that you prepare, which one do you not eat? Like, you're like, I'm gonna pass on this, or do you pass on like, I'm gonna cook this one, I don't really want to eat it, or something?
I don't think there's not any, because being a chef, I have to taste everything. Doesn't matter what it is. There's one item that we cook. It's called gooey duck. So it's actually a shell, and it has like a snout that hangs out. So when you cook it, you have to boil it, and the shell comes off, so it's like a sack.
Oh,
so a lot of people get kind of like giggly, like they're like, oh, it looks like something else. I'm like, I know. So it's actually a sea snail, and we'll cook it. We'll take the skin out, and then we'll slice it up, and it's fresh with lemon. So that dish alone is like $600. So usually I don't really eat it. Like, I'll take a bite out of it, but now that I already know like how to, the ingredients to balance it out, I won't eat it. But it's not bad. It's pretty good. It's like kind of like a delicacy, you could say.
It sounds like $600. Like, man.
Yeah.
So,
just for one.
But that's not escargot, or is that the same thing, or is that just snails, like regular snails?
It's like it would be a pretty big snail. It's probably like maybe that big, the smallest one, but they go to like 6 feet depending on what size you get. So the bigger it is, like the more it is. But that's just 600 is for like a small one, like about that size. So
no wonder it's so expensive.
Yeah, but it's like a seafood. It's just lemon and salt, and you're done. Very basic. But the first time, I remember I was one of the chefs, he had a demo like how to make it and everything, and we're like, oh wow.
But if you mess it up, that's $600 on the drain, right?
Definitely.
Something.
So you do not want to mess up, because if a chef it's on his menu and you're working with him, that's it. Like, you're dead meat, you're out.
Did you ever like add too much salt or pepper to a meal where you had to like fix it somehow?
A couple times with cooking, yeah. Like actually I was trying out salmon with oregano, coated with oregano, but I ended up putting a little bit, I guess when I dipped it was like a little bit too much, so it destroyed the whole thing, and I had to like throw it out. There was no saving it because oregano is strong. So
you gotta get rid of it.
Yeah, so I was working with another chef. They're like, throw it away.
What's your go-to meal when you're on the run? Like, you're running out of time, like you gotta go, like quick little meal, like something you just. I know you're a chef, so like it has to be bomb. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Even your sandwiches, like, hey, sandwich, bubble, oregano, and this and that.
Funny. Yeah, that's funny you say sandwiches. I really love sandwiches a lot. That's probably like my main thing, sandwiches. But I'm a chef that like throughout the time, like my main instructor was Vietnamese, like I said. So now like I do have my meals. Like, I'll either snack on like nuts on the go, or mainly like smoothies. But let's say later, if I want to enjoy something, it'll be sandwiches, or I'll do like a broth. I'll put a little bit of some fish sauce into it, and then glass noodles. And sometimes if there's like veggies, I'll put some veggies, but that's like end of the day, like my comfort, because it restores everything. Because I'm like working, let's say when I'm working probably most of the day, 18 hours nonstop. If there's events, it's like 3 days nonstop. I'm probably only sleeping 1 hour. So that warmth of the broth, and it helps a lot.
The day that I saw you on your live stream, you were in the kitchen. Is that at your house, or you have an office somewhere?
I have a kitchen in Westlake.
Oh, okay.
So I'll do a lot of my streams in the kitchen at Westlake, and Yeah, that's like my sanctuary.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's pretty big. It's like a playground there. I have everything I need. I do a lot of my experiments. Let's say whether it's infusing some things or new menu items. Not only do I do meal prep, but I also do infused foods also. So I have a couple of customers that request that. I'll even offer it for like certain events, or they'll do special orders. And I do pretty much everything. I'll have my one side of the kitchen that does that, and the other side for meal prep, so nothing gets mixed up. But I do like CBD, I do THC. I also I have the Cancer Society that wants me to do some package stuff for them, for the people that have cancer. So I'm working on some bars for them. I'm working on different snacks, and eventually, like, I'll be doing a couple meals for them also. So I'll be opening that with them as well.
Just the infusing stuff is like,
yeah,
everybody's gonna eat it and then they're gonna be laughing afterwards. So like,
definitely
having a great time eating again.
Yeah, one day, because like one of my sisters, she'll come in, my sister Alexis, and we'll infuse some stuff together. So one of my friends, he's like, hey, I have something you can work with. So I infused it into some. My sister's like, well, let's make some tacos. So we did some al pastor tacos. Oh my god! And I grilled like some pineapple right on top, all the juices. I was like probably eating nonstop, like, but it was really delicious. I was gone. I told her, I was like, we gotta finish
we gotta wrap it up.
Yeah, I was like, we gotta finish it at home. I'm like, because I'm like gonna knock out after this.
Right now, when you said you on one side you guys be experimenting, is there a meal or like a dish that you said like, I came up with this, or like, do you come up with stuff as you work?
Yeah. So depending on whatever the protein is, what we'll do is we'll do protein of the day, and then we'll have our superfoods. Superfoods is just like veggies or certain grains that have like quinoa. We'll use the red Inca. It has high in protein. So we do vegan options, and then you have your regular options. So depending on what the person's diet is or what we're trying to incorporate, one of our buddies that's in there, I don't know if you know, like the DJ thing where it goes da, 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 da.
Yeah.
So we'll do protein of the day, and I'll announce the protein of the day, and he'll do the sound effects.
There's a DJ at your kitchen.
Yes.
Hold on. There's a DJ in your office? In your cooking area?
Yeah.
Oh man, I gotta go to this.
Definitely. I'm gonna have to invite you for sure.
Now.
Yeah.
For sure, I'll be eating
For
everything
sure.
myself.
Yeah, you'll have so much to taste.
Have you accidentally put too much CBD or THC in some of the stuff that you prep? Like somebody's like, yo, this one got me from the ankles, you know?
Well, based on the strand, I actually have like a lab kit that'll test it out. So we'll know ahead of time, like, okay, before we infuse it. We'll infuse it first. After we infuse it, depending on whatever strand or flower it is, or if it's CBD, and then we'll know, like, based on the ingredients we're cooking, how much we should cook with. So we have already set a chart of measurements that we need to do. So we'll do like all the math before we actually cook it, and then we'll try it out. So
how many people do you got over there
working with me?
Yeah.
Probably like about 5 people I switch in. So
just teach them.
Yeah, definitely.
Teach 'em all that good stuff, you know?
I'm trying to bring more people in to teach a lot more.
What's the overrated meal that you could say, like, oh, this is overrated, like I don't know, like what is it, the Rockefeller oysters or something that's like, yeah, it's not that good, or something like that, you know?
Something that's not that good?
Yeah, like that, like where everybody talks about it too much, you know, like a trend.
You know what? A lot of people really like my coconut flan, and I'm the only one that I know that I'm aware of that I make it. I haven't found one person that makes it. especially the way I make it. Nobody
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, coconut flan is like, yeah, it's made, it has less sugar than the regular flan. It's white, it's with coconut, and then I'll roast the coconut flakes on top. So you have a little bit of crunch to that dessert. But so far, everyone that's orders it, like, they order like 5 at a time, minimum. And that's just minimum.
Damn.
So
Sounds delicious.
yeah.
Working in a kitchen, have you ever burned yourself? Like where you grab something and it burns your hand or something? Have little accidents in the kitchen?
I haven't. Maybe like with the oven, probably I don't even feel it.
You're just used to it.
Yeah, I think working maybe before in the past, working with other people, they have like injured themselves. There was one cook that we were working with, and we were doing barbecue, but we were doing like pull sliders. So she was actually working with the slicer, and there's a certain way you have to handle the equipment. So she kind of knew, but she was actually like sliding the meat, and I guess her pinky must have stuck out, and she cut it off. Like it was like halfway cut off, and everybody was like, it wasn't funny then, but it's like till this day it was like, oh my god, like it's all Hispanics, so they're like, oh my god, Maria, ¿qué pasó? So her finger, we're like, where's your finger at? And it was like off, like we had to look for it, and I think they tried to ice it and get it back on, but it was no way of saving it. So thank God that hasn't happened to me so far. But
it gets dangerous in those kitchens, though.
Definitely, it really does.
Bad.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. So when you become a chef, like you have to know how to handle the equipment and how to explain it to everyone else. Because it can get, cooking can be dangerous.
Like, Maria, ¿qué pasó con tu dedo? Like, it's missing.
She was like calm. She's like,
that's cool.
She's like, se me cayó.
Oh, dang. But there was all kinds of blood everywhere, or what?
Yeah, we had to like sanitize all the equipment. Everything had to go out, and we had to stop all our production. Everything got held up because we had to be quick to clean everything, and anything that was exposed to the blood, we had to throw it out. So just like being in a hospital, anything that's exposed to anything that's not, that's toxic, we got to get rid of it. So we lost a little bit of meat there, including Maria's finger.
It was infused with Maria's blood.
Yeah, she was incorporating her own DNA. So she lasts about it till this day. Yeah.
But it's
She's
missing.
Still cooking, yeah.
Oh my god, I would have quit already. I would have like, no more, no mas.
That's dedication right there.
On your Instagram, when you post pictures, which meal gets the most likes? Like, what do people like out there?
I want to say the salmon, but I don't know. The guys that like me, I actually do a tomahawk. I don't know if I posted it on there yet, but I do a tomahawk. And when guys ask me what kind of meat do you have, I'm like, well, our main one is tomahawk, and their eyes just light up because I don't know if you've seen a tomahawk, but this thing is huge, like as big as your bone and everything. Yeah, with the bone, and it's like as big as your face. So
making me hungry.
Yeah, one of those tomahawks feed like about 4 people.
I'll kill one by myself, that's for sure.
Definitely, and just for one, that's like $600.
Dang,
they're expensive.
That is expensive.
Yeah. But they're really good. The marbling on it has so much flavor and juices. It's like, wow.
That sounds delicious. With a lot of your food, it looks like you display it for pictures, but I mean, people eat it, right?
Yeah.
So with all the different colors, how do you come up with all that?
So what I do is I'll start off with, okay, let's say we're gonna do steak. Like I said, we'll announce the protein of the day. Let's say it's steak, so certain stuff goes with certain veggies will complement that protein. So let's say asparagus, There's like another veggie we use. It's romanesco. It's like an Italian cauliflower. So it's like a little bit. It's different than than the normal cauliflower. So it's brighter. It has more radiant and green. It has more vitamins compared to the regular cauliflower. It has so much vitamin to it, and it complements that. And we'll roast it, and we'll put it with that. So with steak, anything roasted works really well. We even do like sweet potatoes with the steaks also, depending on what the guys want. If they want something sweet. So with any meal that you make, you always want to do your protein, your veggies, and your starch. Starch, which is like potatoes, rice, any kind of grain. So any kind of grain you have, like, you already know you have a balanced meal. So as long as you have two, or you can even do up to 4 ounces, depending on if you're bulky, like I said, or if you feel like if you're cooking alone, then you know that's not enough for you, then you do 4 ounces. As long as you don't pass those 4 ounces on starch and veggies, you're good, because you're getting that exact balance. And then as far as protein goes, you can go from 4, 6, 8 being the highest.
So for those meal preppers, you guys gotta have a fucking scale in the house so you can weigh all that stuff, right?
Definitely. Everything has to be portioned.
But some of those meals, like, they're like picture perfect, where like you don't even want to eat it. Like, it looks so nice, just in the
Definitely. Yeah. So as far as like meal prepping, not only do you want like the way things look as far as color goes, because like with veggies, they have like different colors. When you do cauliflower, they have purple, they have yellow, they have like green, white, and then other veggies, they have like red colors. So, if you go to the regular markets, they have only certain variety. Yeah. But if you go to like other places like Whole Foods and things like that, they have like a little bit more. But my produce that I get from, it's like from Melissa's Produce, so they have more range. So I'm getting fruits and veggies from like Costa Rica. Other countries like have like high in vitamin and colorful fruits and veggies that we don't have here because of the climate. So climate has to do a lot with food, like when you're baking breads also. San Francisco makes the best sourdough bread, versus if I were to make it here, because of the altitude. San Francisco, they have those high hills, so when you're baking something with that altitude, the pressure of how you're making it has a lot to do with how your food comes out.
Oh shit.
So it's a lot of science into it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's why they have the best, like San Francisco has the best sourdough bread.
Sourdough is delicious.
Yeah. You know how long it takes to make sourdough bread?
How long?
30 days minimum.
Why?
Yeah, because you're doing 2 steps of making it. The base of it is it's called an active yeast. Mm-hmm. So yeast they use to make beer and things like that. So to activate the yeast, you add alkaline water to it, because it has a 8.8 balanced pH level into it. So that has a lot to do with how the bread is made. So that's the base. So you incorporate that, and then every day you're feeding it. Chefs call it the baby, because it takes 30 days. Yeah. 30 days to make. 90. It could be up to 90 days if you want a really, really good, like you're making a lot of sourdough. So basically, when you do it for 30 days, you're making it, and then you're feeding it flour. So every day you're feeding it flour. So it's getting fed. You're taking care of it day after day after day.
I don't know that.
And then the bread just grows and grows and grows. So once it reaches the amount of dough that you want to make, then you put it in the refrigerator. And then the next day you take it out and you add flour to it again. You mix it, and then you start creating your dough.
Damn. science behind all of that.
Yeah, so it's not like a bread yet that takes 1 or 2 days to make. It takes 30 days minimum to make.
Yeah, because I was watching the how to make the pizza dough, and then like you gotta like let it stay overnight so it could the yeast could do its work, right?
Yeah. So it has that fermentation. And it's funny because when you do make it and you do breads that have yeast and you activate it with the water, you can smell like it smells like beer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So get everybody drunk in the kitchen, huh?
Yeah, everyone's like, "Ooh, what's that smell?" But after a while, because it's out, it has like a funky smell because of the fermentation. Like I don't know if you ever grew up in like an Asian community, so. Yeah, it smells like how their house smells, which is not bad. It's actually, once you eat the food, it's really delicious, but it just has a funky smell to it. But that's when you know it's good.
Put some garlic in that stuff, man. Ready. Other than cooking, what do you do like on your free time? What do you do for fun? Like, what's up with you?
I don't know. On my free time, so far, I like spending time with my family. There's times that I'm part of like the Ronald McDonald House charity community, so I like to give out food to them. I like to volunteer, and they have actually a house and they have like a full-on kitchen and grilling, so I like doing stuff like that. Anything that has to do with my community, I like doing and connecting with people, spending time with family, and maybe like creating more food besides that, but like doing it with other people. What else? Aside from that, cooking, I mean I like watching movies. I enjoy music. I love doing stuff with my sisters, like mixologists and stuff like that. Sometimes we'll do like we're starting now that I have more time versus before I didn't have time. So this is the first year I actually have time to spend with them, so with my family. So now I'm spending the holidays. We're starting to get into like decorating, craft stuff. What else? Karaoke. I enjoy karaoke. I love playing pool, golfing. Sports. Now that the games are on, I enjoy good sport. Like basketball, football, baseball's over, so I was rooting for Dodgers. So
yeah, Dodgers took it.
Definitely.
And the Lakers took it.
Yeah.
It was a good year for the sports in LA.
Definitely. I think before they actually won, I told that was on Pod Profile TV. I told him, I said, watch, if they win, that's a sign that I'm gonna succeed this year.
Yeah.
So my goal is like everyone to like know me. So yeah. So they did it, and then the Lakers won. So that's a good plus. Raiders didn't win.
The Raiders didn't win. They got a new stadium though. Yeah. So they're doing good.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully they keep up. Yeah. Hopefully they keep it up.
Yeah, for reals. You got a good squad out there, but the Dodgers and the Lakers took it.
Definitely.
Now they're waiting for the Rams to step their game up so they could have the three of them win, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So it's getting dangerous out there, everybody.
Definitely. Yeah. I did actually a smoothie bowl in honor of the Dodgers. So it was like a Kai bowl, but it was all blue with all the antioxidants, berries, coconut, granola. So
that's what I was gonna ask you too. In the pictures that I posted the other day, when there's like layers. What is the layers? I know there's. I don't know if that's the boba down in the bottom. Am I tripping?
I think it might have been the blueberries.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So they're solid,
but
right?
I do bobas.
Yeah.
I make the boba balls by scratch too.
What is that? What is that?
They're kind of like, well, it's just starch and sugar, pretty much. Yeah, and they're like rubbery, so
Dang.
Yeah, but I also do those medicated as well.
Oh my God. We're gonna have to go over and try all the medicated stuff.
Definitely.
We're gonna bring the camera and be all in your kitchen one of these days, watch.
Definitely.
Stumbling out, full and happy, giggling.
Definitely. We'll do one whole table full of like all the medicated stuff to try out.
You could blindfold me too. I'll taste everything blindfold just to mess with me too.
You should. Definitely.
Like, this is infused. Like, give me some more.
Definitely. We'll pick out like your favorite dishes and we'll put them out there. Tacos, we'll do pastries.
Yeah, I'm definitely ready for that.
Yeah.
I'm definitely ready for this right here.
Definitely.
Sheesh.
Yeah, that's a good treat right there.
Yeah, the strawberries look delicious. And then you did the writing on top. We're going to put it in the camera now so everybody can see it.
All right.
Man, let's wrap it up. Is there any shout outs that you want to give out there to everybody?
Just to my family, my sisters, Alexis, Desiree, Christy, my grandma, my mom. That's, she's a big supporter. I'm glad she's always supporting me. She's here with me.
She's right there.
She always has my back and everything. And ever since I was a kid, she's always, it means a lot to continue doing what I'm doing and getting out there the way I am. Because as a kid, growing up, she had me in modeling, me and my sister, but she always made an effort to get us out there. I remember her and my Uncle Rick used to always, if my dad wasn't there, her and my uncle would always go with me and get me to my modeling photographies. And that's funny because, the reason why I started getting more out there and open and filming and doing live feeds and stuff like that is because one of the girls that works with me, her name is Nicole. She's Nicole of Noel's down in Santee. And she's a really good friend. She's always been supportive. She's into fashion. So we've always done, when they do fashion shows, I'll cater to them. And she's always pushed me to get out there, which is why I came up with my company, Chef'nQueen. So, she's always called me queen, and everybody that, all my customers are like, she calls me the coconut queen because everything coconut I make is delicious.
The flan and everything.
Yeah, she loves the flan. Like, she's like my number one that always orders flans and cakes. Yeah, so I do like the coconut, what is that? Macaroons. The coconut macaroons. So I did like some purple ones with some, it's a purple coconut with purple yam, and she loves it. She's like, everything you do coconut is amazing, and the smoothie bowls. So yeah, so thanks to her and my family, I'm here today, this far, and I'm gonna continue to go further. She's always inspiring me. Every day she'll text me hey, I had an idea. Why don't you make this? And she loves pretzels, so I actually created a pretzel that is a cake that she loves that I make. It's called American Dream Cake. So I actually figured out how to make it into a pretzel. So it's like a dessert pretzel. So anything she'll throw at me, she challenges me a lot. So she'll challenge me on things I'm doing and ingredients and things like that. She's like, what do you think about doing this? I'm like, yeah, I can do it. So I'll make it and she'll test it out. She's like, wow, this is really good. So yeah, I rely a lot on my family and, my team. She's actually part of my team. She helped me out with my social media, all my lives and things like that. She's an amazing person. So, a big help to her and, pushing me. She's actually helped me start doing my first live. So I was really nervous, and I got, comfortable with her always being right there.
Yeah, that's cool. You have a good team behind you. Your mom's here, and then, like you said, her, and then your sisters.
Definitely.
And then, your teachers, they also encourage you to, do good, and they showed you right, not really
definitely
bias or, not really helping you out, so you had a good teaching and like a good team, like I said, so power
definitely.
to you, man. Good luck on your future, and keep pushing, man.
Definitely.
For sure we're gonna go to your kitchen though, and go hang out over there.
Definitely. We have to schedule it. For you to be out there, for sure. We're gonna schedule it.
We're gonna talk to Maria with her missing finger too.
I'm gonna have to get a hold of her.
I don't want to come out, you guys making fun of me. That's funny. Man, thank you for coming. Is there anything else you want to throw out there? Any questions for us?
I don't know. Just basically on, what me being a chef and wanting to do a podcast, what would you advise, or what direction, or what I can do to get out there?
I would say just cook everything as you talk,
right?
Show everybody the skills, just as you do your podcast, give everybody a little course, because a lot of people are out there. We want to learn. Like me myself, I always go to pho or pho, like the noodle stuff, and I want to make this at home.
Yeah.
So I want to learn. So you teaching everybody on your podcast would help, and
definitely.
I would watch you. What did you make it today? Just to learn and just to watch you on your craft. It's always good to share all that stuff, man.
Definitely. So I will definitely. You're gonna learn for sure.
Yeah.
It takes maybe 3 days to make.
Yeah.
But you'll know the right way to make.
Yeah, people make the noodles from scratch, and then all the vegetables that they add, the miso soups, all that. I want to learn all that stuff. So
definitely.
Even how you said you're making the tomahawk steaks, and just learning from you, I know people would appreciate it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That would definitely be a good podcast. I would watch. I would definitely watch and be hungry at the same time.
Yeah, I think I'll have you actually do some flambés too, where you're flipping with the flame.
Yeah.
I could see you doing that.
Oh man, my eyebrows are all messy, the hairs on my arm all burnt. I smell like hairs in it, burnt hair. But yeah, man, I would definitely watch your podcast. And like I said, I'll definitely learn from you on all the tips.
Yeah, I think I would want you guys on my podcast for first guest for sure.
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
I won't be eating everything. Don't say that. I will. I'm an eater. Oh man, thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing your story, all the cooking tips, what you make for everybody. All the your volunteer work with all these organizations.
Thank definitely. You. It means a lot. I've been with my charities. I've been working with Ronald McDonald House for so many years, and they do so much amazing work. They bring these families from other countries where their kids are, born with so much that they need to be healed and restored, and they do everything for them. It's amazing the work they do and how far they go for them. I'm really proud to be part of helping them out.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, they do amazing work. I really appreciate that. Because I remember the first time I went, and there was a kid that came from Australia, and he was so sweet, and he had issues with his heart, and they were worried there was nobody that can help him, and I think he had a few other conditions, but he was so happy to see him and to be happy with the food that we made for them. And he was just looking at him, he was so happy to be living. And it's you don't see a lot of that. And he was just, the appreciation he had for everything in life, really made me think wow, we should be grateful, because he had to come from another country all the way over here to get things that we're privileged to have.
Yeah.
So it's good to be appreciative of what we have, especially now with everything going on. And it's not about what you make or what you do. It's to be appreciative and to share your gifts with everyone. So
some good stuff right there.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing all that. It's a little story right there with the guy from Australia.
Yeah.
But a lot of the food that you guys would make from it was healthy for him, or what?
Well, they basically asked us to make anything that the kids would request. So they requested they wanted burgers, fries, mac and cheese, but we made sure it was like the best they've ever had.
Oh.
So it would be a chef buddy of mine. His name is Josh. So me, Josh, his wife was part of is big. She's like a chair member there. Her name's Elizabeth, and you know, a couple, like there was we brought in maybe 2 or 3 other chefs, and we all came up with the menu together, and a menu that, you know, accommodated not only the kids but the parents as well, because only one, like with him, like his mother was there but the father wasn't there. So some of them are separated from their families, just they come from so far just to get help.
Yeah.
And it's like to bring like comfort food, stuff that they can enjoy without having to worry about paying for it. It's like,
yeah,
they you know, they really brought tears to their eyes because they didn't expect that.
Yeah.
So we, you know, the chefs will be like, okay, who's making desserts? So we would do like a dessert team, entree team, appetizer, like we do like salads or different types of desserts that they never had, just so they can get that experience, like 5-star experience.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Spoil them, man.
Yeah, definitely.
After you guys, after you guys dealt with them, did they help him with his heart problem or something?
Yeah, he actually did. I haven't checked in with them lately, but I'm pretty sure the last I heard, my friend said he did get a lot better, and I think he did go back to Australia. So I think he was like about 4 years old. He was really little, but he was very smart. Like, he was very aware of everything that was going on, and you know, you can tell his parents really loved him. Like, they would take turns switching. Like, one would leave back to the country, and then the other one would come, because they had other kids. So I can only imagine how stressed. They're already paying for like medical stuff just to be here, and I guess whatever they're unable to pay for, the foundation pays for the rest. And they have a house, so it's really nice. It's like a big house. They have like the house, it's not like a hotel, it's more like a, I don't know, like, I guess better than a hotel, because they have like, it's nicely furnished. They have like their own community kitchen. They have lockers in there where they keep their foods if they get food there. Ronald McDonald House always rotates like different chefs to come in and cook for them. Different delivery services, and they don't have to worry about eating. That's the last thing they want them to worry about. So, and then they have a playground there. They have like outside grilling stuff where they can like I don't know, it's like a sanctuary place, because once you go in there, it's like a whole different world. You feel like everything's at peace.
Nice.
So it's really
that.
Yeah,
It's at that time, you know.
Definitely.
Sheesh.
Yeah, they have it really nice, really decked out there for sure.
And like they could feel at home, you know, like you said, they have a yard, they have a barbecue area outside, and that's some good stuff.
Definitely. Yeah.
Some good stuff, man. Thank you for sharing all that, man.
Yeah.
I feel you could feel for those parents, you know, they have to come all the way across the world to help their child, and you know, the Ronald McDonald Foundation does that.
Definitely.
You know, that's dope. That's something dope right there.
Yeah, so they'll do a lot of charity events. It's here in Long Beach. So I've probably been doing it maybe 7 years now. Been a part of them. So anytime they ask, like, I try and be there. Like, I'll stop everything just to be there. Even though I'm not making anything from it, just being there is like an honor.
That's a check within itself, huh? Like, you're just doing good for the world.
Definitely.
You're a superhero. Damn. Thanks for coming, Vanessa.
Thank you for the invite. I really appreciate it.
You blew our mind with all this cake right now. We're going to cut it. Thank you for sharing all your stories. I
can't wait to have you guys in my kitchen. It's going to be off the hook for sure.
Believe me, we're going to show up hungry.
Definitely.
I might even chop off my finger over there too.
In honor of my,
Yeah, you know, just rookie moves, you know, but Thank you for coming. Thank you for the pastries that you bought us. We're gonna put it in the camera so everybody can see the close up right now and see all those berries.
Awesome.
Forget
Yeah.
about it. Man, thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you for the invite.
Yeah.
So now you know, anytime there's like an accident or something, you're gonna Maria.
Maria, you glue your finger back on. Put it in ice, huh? Sheesh.
That's what we see in the kitchen. Anytime somebody like accidentally hits themselves or
Watch
something happens, we're like Maria.
Watch out, Maria, with your hands.
Definitely.
Just for anything, how it just became a joke, kind of. You know, her ears are probably ringing right now.
Definitely.
Shut up already.
Definitely.
Oh man, too much good times right now. Something dope.
Yes.
Thank you for coming. We're gonna say later to the camera.
Later.
Thanks for coming, man. Appreciate it. Shout outs to Anthony behind the boards. Shout outs to the family at home for letting me come. Shout outs to Vanessa and her mom for making it out here. There's a fire outside, but they made it through. Thanks everybody for coming. Thanks, Vanessa.
Yeah, that's funny you say that. My mom thought it was her car.
Oh. It happens like that sometimes. You know, you gotta put the antifreeze in there.
Yeah, my mom is she's known, her nickname is Judy Burns.
Oh man, she be burning, huh?
Yeah, for certain reasons.
Let's go burn already.
All right.
Thanks everybody. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. See you guys later. Latest.
Later.